Ain't got no choice but to lace up. Every day is game day. Off my third contract, you still on that same play. I spit it out, but I got family sitting chain links. Oh, you bout that action? Tell them boys you bout the same thing. Get your popcorn ready. Hat made half amazing. Human highlight reel. You gon' see my name in Beijing. Every rep I take, you'll see the pain that made me. It's gritty on a gridiron. Only one of us can stay king. Touchdown every time I touch down, and my defense shut down every time I touch ground. Yeah, lying harder, but I got the eye of an eagle. I put the city on my back. Look, I'm gonna ride for my people, and once I take the stage, I'm stuck like Evil Knievel. I built to conquer heights. My mind's a daily defeated. When once I get my first ring, I'm manifesting the sequel. Yo, this the IFL. Swear to men become heroes in the end. Are you ready for that? You ain't really about that. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that? You ain't really about that. Are you ready for that?
Add to the stage. There I am. I'm going to bring in my sideline reporter, my partner, Parker Garage. Parker's at home. Parker, thank you for joining us tonight for what should be a fantastic game. If it's anything like the first game up in Prescott Valley, our second game, their season opener, this should be an absolute slobber knocker.
I've never heard that word used before to describe a game. But yeah, it was an absolute battle between these two teams last time out up in Prescott. Of course, we got the win that kind of kickstarted this win streak that we're on right now. But I'm very excited. A little bit of a change at quarterback for Tucson, which is going to be interesting to see. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what these two in-state teams can do here in the IFL.
As a matter of fact, let's flip it a little bit. Let's run those highlights from that first game so we can kind of get a recap of that game. It was a 54-48 victory for Northern Arizona. That was the first of their 3 straight victories. Parker, both teams scored 60 total points in the first half, so you know it was going to be one of those shootouts. Tucson, overall, they ran the ball really well, 134 yards rushing. We see Mike Jones with one of his rushing touchdowns. He had 2 rushing touchdowns on the game for those. Malik Mitchell had 4 rushing touchdowns. Josh Jones with one of his touchdown passes right there. Parker, he had 5 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown on the day. Just an offensive explosion for both teams.
Yeah, and the thing too that I think people should keep in mind, our team was not fully healthy back in that game. Of course, Kobe White has kind of come onto the scene as another Swiss Army knife that Coach Moss and the offense has been able to use. Mm-hmm. The defense, they've still continued to grow the chemistry. We saw it last week in Duke City, which I'm sure we'll get into, but this team has continued to get better and better each week, and I'm very excited to see what they can do tonight.
You mentioned the defense in this game that we're looking stats at. Travion Banks had 8 tackles, 2 pass breakups. He is having a phenomenal season back there at defensive back. Shannon Reed is just destroying things. Number 21 at the linebacker spot. PG, he had 7 tackles in that game, half a sack. Ellison Jordan had the other half to complete the 1 sack. Tremont Lofton, 6 tackles. We see Malik Mitchell getting in there right there for the touchdown. We mentioned he had 4 rushing touchdowns on the day. He was so strong that day. Unfortunately, he won't be able to play today, but Malik was on fire that game.
Yeah, he kind of channeled a little bit of like a Jalen Hurts because he's such a bigger quarterback than what the guys were used to in their first couple of games. Mm-hmm. But how he was able to rush the ball, it really disrupted what the defense's plan was, what it looked like. But at the end of the day, we were able to get the win with a great touchdown there by David Eldrick to put us up, and then the big tackle and the pick there by Malik Saunier to really cap that win off and to really set this Northern Arizona Wranglers season up in the win column.
Yeah, just look at that pressure that they got on Malik Mitchell. And then, as you mentioned, Malik Saunier got the interception to seal the victory. Their offense on 11 of those drives, PG and folks, the Wranglers scored 8 touchdowns. The only other 3 were ended because of a half, or I think it was like a turnover on downs, but 8 of 11 possessions, the Wranglers scored a touchdown. So they were on it. Josh Jones, and as you mentioned, the defense continues to grow. We saw what happened last week against Duke City. We'll talk about that in our third segment after we go to the Wallace Cowens interview. We'll take a break. We'll do an interview that JP and I did with Wallace Cowens in the second segment, but the defense continues to grow, PG, and I'm so impressed that they were able to hold Duke City to 23 points last week, 107 yards of offense. This defense is stellar.
We gave up the 3rd most points in the league heading into that game. And I think it really showed just the growth of the team collectively. I think we had, 4 or 5 false starts by Duke City's offense. And one, it was, of course, because of the fans, the music, but also the players having the great communication on the field and getting these guys psyched out. I mean, that to me was one of the biggest plays of the game. Then he had, of course, Ellison Jordan with a pick 6. And honestly, I saw someone comment on our Instagram, a thick 6, because he is a heavy defensive lineman.
Yes.
But, our defensive back or no-fly zone with Kevin Hyde and Travion Banks and the rest of the crew, they played stellar, not really letting either of Duke City's quarterbacks able to get much passing game going. And it was an all-around great team effort in that win.
Yeah, you mentioned Travion Banks, Kevin Hyde, Gervon Hall Jr., Malik Saunier, those young men back there in that defensive secondary, they are ball hawks. They're giving up, you know what? Their completion percentage, opponents, they're giving up 49% of completions. That's the lowest completion percentage of any defensive back, of any defensive secondary in this indoor football league. So that lets you know that those young men back there are putting in work, PG. They are shutting down opposing offenses to less than 50% completion percentage.
They're dogs. I mean, that's a very, used term right now in the football and sports world. But those guys are dogs, and also the offense too. Josh had 2 picks in the first half, really in that second quarter, if I remember correctly. But after that, he was stellar. He was getting everybody active. He got Kobe White his first touchdown of the season, and was just able to really throw it around and pass it around to all of his receivers. And really, it was honestly my favorite performance they've had, and I think the best performance they've had in their first 4 games.
I absolutely agree. Folks, we're going to take a break, pay some bills. We'll talk about the Duke City game a little bit more in that third segment, but after we pay some bills, take a break, get a couple commercials in, we'll come back with that Wallace Cowens interview. Young man is just on fire at that defensive end spot, number 0 for the Northern Arizona Wranglers. I'll call him Agent Zero. Yes. Yeah, I'm just thinking about Gilbert Arenas. Yes, Gilbert Arenas. I'm taking your name. Agent Zero is Wallace Cowens. What a great guy on defensive end. What a fantastic addition for this Northern Arizona Wranglers defense. But after this commercial break, we'll go ahead and run that interview and let you see the chat that JP and I had with Wallace Cowens. So, Parker, I appreciate your time, brother. I know you got to go, but thank you for joining us, at least for this first segment of the Northern Arizona Wranglers pregame show from here in Tucson.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light? Light? Oh my.
Oh, shoot, I forgot to play the song.
Thanks, LL Cool J.
I got a guy who can fix this.
it then. Okay. Thank you, Pat.
We welcome you back to the countdown to kickoff here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers YouTube channel. We're pleased now to be joined by defensive end extraordinaire for the Wranglers, Wallace Cowens. Wallace, thank you so much for your time tonight. Just give us a quick recap. You guys have been in action for a few weeks now, got a couple games under your belt. How does it feel to be a member of this Northern Arizona Wranglers squad?
Oh, it feels good. It just feels good to be playing, and getting on the field and just going out there and being able to make plays. So that's like the big thing about everything is being able to go out there and play every day.
Wallace, let's go back to a week ago against Duke City. You held this team to 107 yards of offense, 31 through the air, 23 points. What is going on with this defense, man? You guys have come together over the first 4 weeks, the four games of the season, and have just absolutely balled out defensively. Just talk about this defense and what it's like for you to play inside of it.
Mostly everybody on the defense, we've been here since camp, so everybody's starting to get more in tune with each other and learn how everybody plays. So everybody was just clicking on all cylinders, and the more games come, I feel like the defense will just keep picking it up.
How much fun are you having playing in front of this crowd inside the Finley Toyota Center? They've really bought into this team over the last couple of seasons, and I think their attitude and their energy that they bring every Saturday night, it shows.
Yeah, the crowd be into it, so it draws and it feeds the players. We love when the crowd get loud, and it just make us want to go out there and make a play. So we be in tune with the crowd and vice versa.
So, Wallace, we just saw the pick six by Ellison Jordan, and you were the one that tipped the ball from John Junn. Well, walk us through that play and how that play worked out where Big 42 was able to take it back to the house.
So it was like a regular, it was passed down. So I was pass rushing, and I seen the quarterback open up to my side. So I knew I was nowhere near him. So the best thing I could do at the moment was get my hands up, and he threw it low. So it just worked out in the defense's favor.
How much fun have you guys had with Ellison since that pick six for him and having a little fun with him? Because, big guys like that, especially defensive linemen, they don't really get to touch the football a whole lot.
Yeah, Ellison getting that pick six just really fed the fire right there and just made everybody else on defense want to go make some plays like that.
So I'm gonna bring up some numbers, Wallace. You've got the number 4 total defense in the league. You've given up the 3rd fewest touchdowns in the league. You've got the 3rd most interceptions in the league. How has this defense come together? We're seeing all these different plays from the Duke City game. How has this defense come together, Dub C, this quickly? And you've been so dominant so far. What's been the game plan on every single game? We're seeing defense right here. And a defensive play right here to get a stop right there. Kevin Hyde and Shannon Reed jumped in there, but just talk about the defense as a whole. Look at you getting that play. You and Shannon Reed getting in on that play.
Well, it's really Coach Moss. He the one to put together. He mastered behind everything. He put together, put the right guys out there, and we execute what he want done. So, and we just make it fun.
This offense not too shabby as well for these Northern Arizona Wranglers. How do these guys make you guys better make the defense better in practice every day?
They make us better in practice every day because we practice fast, and the offense is our offense is fast and versatile. So it just help you stay on your P's and Q's every day throughout the regular. Just not just going through the motions of everything.
Yeah, we can see you right there, Wallace, giving some love to the crowd during the Arizona game. Just when we look at the Duke City game tonight, the Tucson game tonight, of course, it's going to be tough to beat a team twice. But when you look at the Sugar Skulls team, they were so tough in that first game. Myleik Mitchell and Mike Jones and Mike Kerrigan, they've got so many weapons on offense. How are you scouting out this team as you're preparing this week, as you're getting ready to play them tonight down at the Tucson Arena? What are you seeing from the Sugar Skulls in round 2?
Well, we just have to go out there and stop the run and stop the pass, the basic stuff, and just play our game. We got better over the past few weeks too. We're not the same team that they played the first time either. So we just got to go out there and do what we have to do.
How do you guys bond off the field? Well, we know you spend a lot of time in practice, probably watching film as well. Do you guys get together and hang out a lot off the field and kind of create that bond that's necessary for a team to really be successful?
Yeah, we be having team dinners and things every night. So we bond up the field every day. So it's every day we get closer as a team.
As intense as this defense looks, and we see it in the highlights, are the practices just as intense? I know there's no contact or anything, Wallace, but are you guys just as intense with your mental approach to practices?
Yeah, practice be intense because everybody out there is competitive, especially on defense and offense, especially up front. We competitive, so we're going to work each other every day.
Who has been a surprise for you, especially on the defensive side of the ball, that's maybe played really well this season and really come on as a Northern Arizona Wrangler, especially on the defensive side of the football?
Really, I want to say, because I've never played with none of these guys before, so I want to say the whole team as a whole, but everybody doing their thing, so you can't really just pick a certain player.
Well, it is just amazing to see that defensive front right there. You talk about it, Wallace, you and Ellison and Tremont Lofton, Shannon Reed, you're four up front. But talk about the backside with Travion Banks and Kevin Hyde and Malik Saunier, and just that secondary, how strong they are on your job easier because the back end is set.
Yes, sir. With the back end set, I know I can get back there, and I'm gonna make their job easier by getting back there in a timely manner. But they can hold down their own in the deep waters.
There you go with that fumble recovery against San Antonio. Look at you, Wallace. There you go.
Now, Wallace, I know you got a couple of nicknames. One of those being the Joker. Another one is Hollywood. Would you care to explain those and maybe how those couple of those nicknames came about?
Hollywood, my mom and dad and some players gave me that name because my character and how I am on and off the field and my personality on the field. It's like when the cameras come on, I just turn to a different person and just likes camera action. And Joker is kind of like a little funny alter ego thing I do out there on the field. So how I get in my mode.
Wallace, what are some of your pregame rituals? Is there a playlist that you got in your AirPods or on your phone that you listen to get you kind of hyped up in the locker room? And when you get on the field, what's your preparation like on game days to get you hyped up for the game?
Game days, I just I treat it like it's a party. So I go out there and have fun. So I get my music going. I stretch, make sure I stretch. I make my morning meals and I go about the rest of the day and get locked in until time for kickoff.
Let's rewind a little bit to your high school days. You actually ran track as well. How do you feel that helps you being a multi-sport athlete, especially playing the game of football, which is very intense physically?
Well, track just helped me because it opened up track is a different world in its own, so it helped me with my speed and development in that field, and also just getting me ready for college in general because it speeded up, and all that translates to now.
Yeah, and I would imagine that track also helps you with your endurance, right? With your wind and your lungs and your lung capacity and your stamina. I would imagine, wouldn't it, during the course of a football game?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What would a win tonight? What would a win tonight in Tucson against these Sugar Skulls mean to the club to go 4-1 on the young season, Wallace?
Well, we're taking every week one to go 1-0, but we're trying to take this home stretch and try to win out the rest of this until our next bye week. So we're going to take it day by day and week by week and just focus on the people that we have at hand and just go dominate.
Wallace, we look forward to your continued productivity. Wallace Cowens joining us here, defensive end for your Northern Arizona Wranglers. He's going to be showing out one more time tonight inside the Tucson Convention Center against those Sugar Skulls. As Ed mentioned, our second game against them this season. Always hard to beat a team twice, but we wish you luck tonight and go out there and represent for. Stay with us here on the Countdown to Kickoff. We'll be back from Tucson Convention Center in Tucson as we walk you up to the Sugar Skulls and your Northern Arizona Wranglers.
Every day, savings, energy efficiency, rebates. Every day, you have ways to save energy and money. Schedule a home energy checkup for savings recommendations tailored to your home. Find rebates on smart thermostats, appliances, and more at the APS Marketplace. Compare your rate plan options and switch to the plan that would have saved you the most money. Find ways to save at aps.com/brighter.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Simon, founder and CEO of Simon Med and founder also of Simon One. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about the process for Simon One. It is super easy. You either call or chat online to schedule. When you arrive, you can just check in on your phone. The examination generally takes about 30 minutes. It can be as short as 15 minutes. Sometimes it's a little bit longer. It's non-invasive, no needles, no preps. When you're done with your exam, you can expect the results to be done in about 24 to 48 hours. You can expect a video chat to be set up to review your results within about a week. Super easy.
With thousands of unique items arriving daily at your neighborhood Goodwill stores, expect the unexpected.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tucson Arena here in Tucson, Arizona. We're just walking you up to kickoff in about 15 minutes. The Northern Arizona Wranglers and the Tucson Sugar Skulls will do battle again for the second time, the second of 3 meetings this year. It's always a spirited contest when we come down here to Tucson Arena. We know Billy Back, the head coach of the Tucson Sugar Skulls, is going to have his guys ready to go. As we talked about earlier in the pregame show, Taz Wilson is going to get the start at quarterback. Myleik Mitchell is out for the game, so Taz Wilson is going to get. As I bring myself removed from the stage, here I am, folks. I'm a one-man band, so I'm doing it all tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in to this Northern Arizona Wranglers pregame show as we're, again, walking you up to kickoff about 14 minutes away. Wranglers and the Sugar Skulls. Let's run these Duke City highlights. Let's let you know how they got here from last week's dominant performance over the Duke City Gladiators, a 39-23 victory, their third straight victory, the Northern Arizona Wranglers. Josh Jones started up the scoring last week with a 4-yard touchdown run. The strength of Josh Jones to get in the end zone right there, just so strong. Malik Saunier. That's Malik Saunier right there with the tackle of John Jund. Tremont Lofton bringing down John Jund right there. The defense was on fire last week. Gave up only 107 yards, 12 first downs, and just 31 yards passing between John Jund and Jeremy Hickbottom. What more can you say about this Wranglers defense? And, of course, Ellison Jordan right here with the 17-yard pick six off the Wallace Cowan's tip. Number 42 got that ball. Just a fantastic return for that young man. 17-yard touchdown. Took it back to the house. One of 3 interceptions that the Wranglers had on defense against Jund and Hickbottom. Wallace Cowens, Travion Banks. There's his interception right there. Travion right on cue. And Ellison Jordan again with the 17-yard pick six. 2 sacks. Look at Shannon Reed getting in there, just ball hawking, just after Jeremy Hickbottom. The defense was relentless. And Josh Jones throws a touchdown pass to RZ McCorker. RZ bounces off that would-be tackler. He gets away from 2 other guys and stretches into the end zone. RZ, second most touchdowns in the league behind TJ Edwards of Frisco. He's tied with GG, Glenn Gibbons Jr. with the Arizona Rattlers. There's the second touchdown of the game. RZ McCorker is having a heck of a rookie season. Shamar Moreland knocks the football away right there. Great coverage for him to converge on the wide receiver and knock the football away. Josh Jones hits wide open John Maldonado in the end zone for a touchdown, one of his touchdowns. Kobe White also had a touchdown last week. But just it was the defense that really came and showed and proved. Look at that right there. Just fantastic defense. Fantastic open field, one-on-one tackling. You see Wallace Cowens right there and Shannon Reed. Also, Cowens. That's actually Malik Saunier with the interception right there. That's actually Cowens. 0 looks like 8 to me, folks. I'm sorry. Sometimes those numbers get bunched up. There's Kobe White with his touchdown pass. So, yeah, just 39-23, a 16-point victory over Duke City. This Northern Arizona Wranglers team is rounding into form quickly within 7 weeks. This team hasn't been together that long, folks. A couple months, if that, before the season started. And now they're here in Tucson to see what they can do. Their second road game of the season. This is going to be a tough one. Tucson, Northern Arizona, every one of these Arizona rivalries, whether it's the Wranglers and the Rattlers or the Rattlers and the Sugar Skulls, Wranglers, Sugar Skulls, Rattlers, whatever you want to do, whatever combination, it's going to be a tough football game tonight, folks. I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. So Pat Paris and Nick Davila, the voices of the Tucson Sugar Skulls, you guys pop over to caffeine.tv and also the Indoor Football League. There's Nick right there. Hey, Nick. You can't hear me, but Nick's getting ready to call the game. But pop over to the IFL YouTube channel and also caffeine.tv to check out their broadcast and come right back here at halftime. I'll do a halftime recap. We'll get some highlights up, and we'll just kind of basically see what happened in the first 30 minutes of football between the Wranglers and the Sugar Skulls. But, folks, thank you for tuning in so much. We appreciate it so much. You have no idea how much we appreciate you tuning in. But check us again back here at halftime, where I'll be right here in this very spot. I've already got my footprints right here, so I'm coming back here at halftime, and I want you to come back here at halftime as well. So, folks, enjoy the first half of football, and I will see you in 30 minutes of football time. Go Wranglers.